This week on 10-Minute Food Truck Training, we are talking about operational excellence on a food truck.
This episode is brought to you by Honda. Introducing the all-new, all-terrain Honda Passport Trail Sport, the most off-road capable Honda Passport Honda has ever dreamt up. The Passport features increased ground clearance, roof rails on all trims, and available specially developed all-terrain tires. And you'll stay comfortable with tri-zone climate control and available features like heated and ventilated front seats and a panoramic moonroof. Learn more at honda.com/passport.
Welcome to the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. My name is Bill Moore, founder of foodtrucktraining.group. Today we're talking about equipment manuals. An equipment manual includes all the warranty information from all the different pieces of equipment that you're buying, as well as all the manuals that the manufacturer provides. Nowadays, with everything being on the internet, they may not actually provide you with a physical manual. You may have to go to the internet and look it up. I'm going to strongly urge you to go to the internet, look up your piece of equipment, and download that manual, and then put it in your equipment manual. Having an equipment manual provides you with a single place to collect all those different packets you'll get for each piece of equipment. Plus, it'll be a single place for you to troubleshoot when problems come up, rather than you having to scramble all over the internet to find your particular piece of equipment and its manual. You want to have this set up before you need it. Equipment manuals also outline basic preventive maintenance for all the equipment, as well as the cart or the trailer itself, because there will be certain pieces of maintenance that you'll need to do on them, like greasing the wheel hubs, for instance, checking out the brake lines, those kind of things. So the preventive maintenance will include on the equipment, for instance, just taking out gas lines, checking out plumbing lines, adding oil to generators and other pieces of equipment that need the little food grade oil added to them occasionally, changing out the filters, cleaning the vents, cleaning the compressors. And if you've got an ice machine, they have a whole bunch of maintenance things that have to be done every month, as well as quarterly, semi-annually, and annually. So what I recommend that you do, get all these manuals together, see what their recommended weekly, monthly, or daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly preventive maintenance tasks are, cleaning tasks are, and then put them on a generic calendar so that you have those reminders to get those pieces of equipment taken care of on a timely basis. Because the more that you do on the preventive maintenance side, the less you'll be paying in repair costs in the future. Even if you're a one-person operation, writing down your standards that we've been talking about this whole week is going to make a difference in how you operate. It makes it feel official. So even a hot dog cart having an operations manual and even an employee manual, even though you don't have employees, hopefully you're going to grow to the point where you do have employees, and having an equipment manual, all of those manuals help you to feel more official, more business-like, more like it's a real business that you've bought into and that you're developing and that you're going to grow into something awesome. But you can't do that if all you do is roll out of bed, brush your hair, throw a little bit of deodorant on and go, yep, I'm going out to sell hot dogs today. Because what's going to happen is you're not going to be as well prepared because you haven't been thinking about things to build your business. Selling a hot dog is easy. All you got to do is show up and somebody's going to come buy one. But how do you maintain that? How do you build that? How do you make it into something great? You do that by planning. Part of that planning process is having these manuals. So have you ever gone to a McDonald's and you go in to order something from one of their ice cream machines and they say, ice cream machine's broken. And they seem to take a little tiny bit of pleasure in telling you that. And then you decide, well, it's okay. Things happen, which they do. And you go back tomorrow and you're told the same thing. Ice cream machine down. So now you're a little bit annoyed because that's 2 days in a row. But let's say you come back next week. Surely they've had it fixed by now and it's broken yet again. Those memes that they have about McDonald's ice cream machine always being broken are there for a reason, and that's because there's a lot of truth in that. There's a lot of preventive maintenance that goes into an ice cream machine or a shake machine. But I can tell you, having worked in this industry for as long as I have, and with the particular brand that they use, shouldn't be broken down as frequently as it is. If they did things properly and did all the normal preventive maintenance and took some pride in having all their operations working efficiently all day long, and that's every operation, from ice cream to the coffee to the grill to the fryers, then it would be up and operating more frequently. As I said, I've worked in this industry since the late 70s, and 25 of those years I worked for companies that had the same brand shake machine that McDonald's uses. And in those 25 years, I can count on one hand the number of times that the shake machine was broken down to the point where we couldn't sell shakes for a full day. And I can only count on one finger the number of times that the shake machine was down into the second day, because we had to overnight a piece of equipment to repair it. You should never miss a week's worth of sales from a piece of equipment. If you take care of the equipment, it will take care of you and it will help you build sales. You can only do that if you take the time to develop a manual and understand what all the different preventive maintenance tasks are for all your equipment. So at this point, if you've been following along this week, we've developed an operations manual, an employee policy manual, and now an equipment manual. So you have that solid foundation for your business. And what you're creating is a business that you could sell as a whole unit rather than parting it off as pieces. So if you have a food trailer and you've got all these different manuals I've been talking about, plus you got a couple of contracts with perhaps a supplier and then maybe a couple of places set up that you have locked in under a contract under your business name, so it's not under your name personally. All the licenses and permits are under the business name as opposed to you personally. You now have a legitimate business that you could sell as a whole. Somebody could reasonably buy it today and then open again tomorrow because it's going to be all under the business name. It's just a matter of following the legalities of transferring it to a different owner. You can't do that in a lot of states with personally named contracts because it is only for that person, not the business. Same applies to the licenses. If they license something to Bill Moore, well, you're not selling me, so you can't actually buy something that I have licensed in my personal name. You can buy the piece of equipment, but that piece of equipment is going to be less valuable because now you have to go out and license it and insure it and get all the contracts and develop your own plans. And you've not bought a business, you bought a piece of equipment. So hopefully you're seeing the difference in how I operate compared to anybody else. I'm building a business. I want you guys to build a business. I want you guys to build it so well that when you go to sell it, you can get top dollar because you're selling a business. You're not selling a piece of equipment. So whenever you see those ads that say turnkey and it doesn't have all the permits and it doesn't have all the contracts, it's not really turnkey. It's just a way to make you feel like you're buying a business when in reality, all you're buying is a piece of equipment that will depreciate and lose value over time. A business, because it's not a piece of equipment, doesn't devaluate and lose value over time because the business should always be growing and adding on new pieces of equipment and getting bigger and better. That's what a business is. So understand the difference between a business and an asset, and the asset being the trailer or the cart or the truck that you work off of, because those do lose value. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about yet another manual that you might need, and I really recommend that you build this manual as well because it's just as important as all the other ones, and that is called your marketing manual. If you guys are enjoying our chats, please consider supporting the podcast by clicking that support button. Every little bit does help. Or if you can only make a one-time donation, that's awesome too. I've got a link in the description for that as well. If you like being around like-minded positive people, join our Facebook group. It's called Food Truck Training. The link will be in the description for that also. Thank you guys so much for listening. And as always, stay profitable, my friends.